Hello everyone, good morning. I wonder whether I should start now or I should wait for the coffee break to finish.
Give them a round of applause, please. Thank you so much,
I
sir,
think,
for
sir,
the
there is a time
information.
of coffee
Okay,
break
I'm
for
just
10 minutes.
okay, sir.
And in the
Thank you so
meantime,
much.
we can set up the presentation.
A round of
It's
applause.
almost
Would like to
set up
request
just for a
everyone
10 minutes.
just
Okay,
sit
so then
still here.
I just
Is there
keep.
still seated,
Yes,
sir?
yes, sir.
So
Okay, all
while we
right.
will be having the coffee break,
So I will
would like to invite
start anyway because I think, in fact, my presentation is quite a little bit heavy, and I don't think 50 minutes would be enough. So then I consider this as complimentary 10 minutes. My name is Wisit. Just call me Wisit, and I'm from International Telecommunication Union, or ITU. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the ITU. I don't include the slides to introduce the organization, but let's say if we have some more time, I can talk about the organization. But in short, the ITU is one of the United Nations agencies or UN agencies. I'm sure that you know many UN agencies like UNICEF, right? UNESCO, WFP, WHO, something like that. So these are the specialized agencies. Specialized agencies means that they are specialized in particular field or particular domain, right? Like WHO is for the health, UNESCO for the education and culture, right? So likewise, ITU is a specialized agency in telecommunications and ICT, right? So that is the short introduction of ITU. What I have prepared to talk about today is about the IoT. Of course, I'm sure that you know more or less about the IoT, but I will talk about I will talk further about the smart. We call it the smart sustainable cities, and then I will talk a little bit about entrepreneurial startup, something like that. So while you are enjoying your coffee break, which I'm a little bit jealous because, because I don't have coffee here. Anyway, I will. I think I will start, and then you can, listening while eating. Okay.
questions or clarification? Very well.
Okay. If you may allow, I will just probably walk around because I don't like sitting and speaking. Um, I think the screen is very small, and you probably can't read. But what this slide is showing is that we are trying to say that the technologies have changed, transformed our society, have changed a lot the way that we communicate, and actually the way that we live in our society. So this one. According to the statistic that the ITU has produced, by the end of last year, by the end of last year, the number of mobile cellular subscription is almost 7 billion, 7 billion. And the mobile, I think I have to practice how to use this. And the number of mobile broadband is about 47% of population. And then the internet penetration is about 3.2 billion. So, I mean, all these are just numbers, but the key message is that the number of users of the internet and the number of people who are using mobile phone like this for connecting the internet has grown, has increased dramatically. I mean, very much, very, very much. And this gives us a lot of opportunity. In this slide, I'm just showing that the number of the machines which are connected to the internet that we call Internet of Things. By the year 2020, it would be about 50 billion devices. So, I mean, now it's not a scientific or sci-fi movie anymore. I mean, now, I mean, what we saw in the movie, you know, like a Back to the Future, Matrix, or whatever, you know, sci-fi movies, became realistic now, became, you know, reality. So, in fact, although these days a lot of people are talking about IoTs, right? And, you know, this forum also, you know, the theme is about the IoT, but I'm telling you that the next thing that people are going to talk about is the artificial intelligence. Of course, AI is not new. I mean, people know about AI many years, right? But mostly in the laboratories or in the R&D or in the universities. But in the next few years, you will see a lot of AIs coming commercialized and actualized in the society. But anyway, the AI is not in the scope of my presentation. But I'm just telling you that these IoTs, these technologies will finally lead to the artificial intelligence. This is about the meaning of IoT, which I'm not going to talk much, but the key message or the key point of the IoT is that it is a global infrastructure, right? So it's borderless, meaning that machines are talking to machine. That this morning we heard Ms. Jirawan was in her opening speech. She was talking about human to machine, machine to machine, and this is about the IoT, and it uses the global infrastructure, which is the internet. So these are the key characteristics of the IoT, which again I will not go into the details, but for some of them, the IoT. Usually the IoT is a location-based capabilities. It has to have a security, it has to have a privacy. And these are the two topics that are really important. And I'm sure that the ISOC, speaking of ISOC, I forgot. Actually, I have to thank ISOC for inviting me to speak at this forum, especially Navid. I don't know where he is, but a good friend of mine who's invited, I'm thankful to them. So I'm sure that the ISOC is trying to promote the awareness of the security in the era of the IoT. And this is very important. If you are in the academic domain, or if you are in the commercial domain, this is really important because when you are install the software or upgrade your software, right? Usually there is terms and conditions that you can read, which people usually don't read. But there's a term and conditions telling you that what kind of obligation or conditions that you are tying, and then you can click agree or not, right? But the IoT is, these things, I don't know if we are going to have something like this or not, because even, in the future, even our pens can be connected to the internet. I mean, now we have a smart TV, we have a smart fridge, your refrigerator can be connected to the internet, right? So if your pen is connected to the internet, if your watch is connected to the internet, meaning that your data, your personal data is being shared. So how are we going to make sure that, how are we going to ensure the security and the privacy, your personal data? So this is something that, in the international community, we are talking a lot about the security and the privacy or data protection. The principle of the IoT is that usually it's about the sensors or the way that you can get data from anywhere, right? So, and usually you use the sensor to get the data. But if you have a big amount of data, but you can't utilize it, so it's useless. It's no point to have the IoT. So the IoT is that you capture the data from everywhere, right? And then you have analytics. So meaning that you analysis the data according to what you are aiming to achieve. And finally, you make a decision. So this is the principle of the IoT, right? And the data is everywhere. Data is really everywhere. In the past, we don't have affordable technologies that can capture data, big amount of data, but now it's possible. So, for example, very simple, if you put your video camera beside the street, and you capture the cars, you capture the people walking around, you have the sensor to capture the data about the temperature and everything, the moisture and everything, right? And you leave it for, let's say, 1 year. Can you imagine how big data it is? It's so big data. And then what this data is useful. It's up to your objective or your target, right? You can use this data to analyze the traffic management, the traffic flow, or you can even study the behavior of people who are walking on the street, or you can study even the behavior or the accident. I mean, what are the key factors when accident happens, something like that. So what I'm trying to say is that you have equipment which capture data, and then you have analytics, right? And then you can make a decision accordingly. And that would require another technologies, which is big data. In Korea or in developed countries, the technologies of the future is what we call ICBMS or ICBM. So what I is IoT, C is a cloud, B is a big data, M is a mobile technology, and M is a mobile, and S is a security. So big data is also another important aspect. So okay, I'm going to move quickly because I don't think I have much time, but to this, the next topic that I'm talking about is IoT and the smart cities. So IoT is a very kind of a key component for building a smart city. But building a smart city is, people or cities can make a smart city in different ways. But the important thing is that you have to prioritize, policymakers or urban planners have to prioritize what is important in your city first. What are the issues or what are the problems? So this slide is about the city challenges versus citizen interest. I'm going to skip this, and also I'm going to skip this because I think this is very simple and you already know about this. Actually, the remaining slides, from this slide is more appropriate to the policymakers or to the urban planners in the way that when you are building a smart city, especially in Thailand, we are talking a lot about the digital economy. We are talking a lot about the smart cities, Phuket smart city, Chiang Mai smart city. Yeah? But if you are a policymaker, when you're starting planning the smart city, you don't know where to start because there are so many issues, there are so many problems. So first is that you have to set a vision of what you would like your city to become in the future. For example, Phuket. How many of you are Thai people? Of you are Thai people? Put it this way, who are not Thai? Okay, all right, so majority is Thai, right? Fortunately, I have been involved to some extent in the smart city in Thailand, both Phuket and Chiang Mai. So the first thing is that the governor of the provinces have to set a vision of, what they want their city to look like. Phuket, you know very well, is a tourist city, right? So then, what are the key priorities for the governor? Can you guess? Because it's a tourist destination, Phuket has less than 500,000 people, but it has almost 13 million foreigners or visitors a year, right? So the first thing that they are targeting is the safety, public safety for the tourists, right? And then now they are talking or they are thinking about some kind of devices, kind of a smartwatch or I don't know what to call it, which tourists can rent and go along the beach or go diving or go to the remote islands. And if they're missing, we can track them. So this is something that they have a vision to build upon. Chiang Mai is also another case. Chiang Mai is a city of history. Chiang Mai Lana history is a 700-year history. So they want to, Chiang Mai is a creative city also. So they are positioning themselves as a creative smart city. So it targets about the culture, the arts, the creative ideas, something like that. So that is the first thing that the policymaker have to think about. So I probably pass through this because this is more like, for the planning the smart city. But another thing that I like to talk about is that even though you have a vision, you have a target, and then you start building the smart city. Another key component is measuring the performance or measuring the progress, and that the KPIs for smart city is really important. You have to set the KPIs on what you like to measure, right? Okay, so that I concluded the something a little bit about IoT, something a little about the smart city. And now let's maybe just a few minutes to talk about this, about the digital economy and the startup and all that, which a lot of people are talking about. So this lady, Nelly, is actually the former commissioner of the European Commission in the digital agenda. And then she was talking that when we talk about the digital economy, it's not a separate economy. Digital economy is an economy which is digital. So as we talk about the IoTs and the technologies, I hope I'm not boring you, because people after eating they are going out somewhere. But anyway, this slide just demonstrated how IoT can be used in various sectors or various domains. And this is just an example. This is agriculture industry. So in Australia, they put the small devices, IoTs, in the oyster farm, in the in many things. This one, oyster is vineyards, livestock. And they use the IoT, and they use not just a few hundreds or few thousand, but they use millions devices. For example, oyster, they put small devices in the farm, and then they can monitor how they grow. Right? So in health also, we have a smartwatch now. I mean, a lot of things that we are capturing that data from humans. In ITU itself, we also have initiative on the mobile health, but I'm not going to talk about that. And this, even in the sport industry, right? I think you know well, and I think all of us are very proud that Leicester City was a champion last year, right? But what I try to say is that even in the sport industry, they use technologies. They use not really IoT, but they use the big data. So the big company like SAP, I don't know if you are familiar with this company. They are developing a solution using big data to analyze 10 years, 20 years of matches, football matches, in order to understand or to get the insights of how people playing. Right? So this technology is even coming to the sport industry. And just very quickly, this guy, he's Kenyan. He's known as a YouTube guy because he grew up in the very poor area, and then he was a champion. I don't know what they call it in the sport. But anyway, the point is that he watched YouTube to improve his performance. So now, before I conclude, I'd like to leave a few questions to you. People talking about the smart city, making a smart city. Some people I heard they are saying like, okay, we have a smart city and then we will have a smart people, smart society. So the question is that, is smart city making us smarter? Do you think that the smart city making us smarter? I don't have an answer, but I'm sure that some people are smarter, some people may not, right? But the thing is that actually we have the definition of the smart city. The smart city should address improving the quality of life, and that is number one of the definition of the smart city. So whatever you do, I mean, in terms of the smart city or IoT, you have to see how it can improve the quality of life. So this, what I'm talking about, is a key message of the smart city. Then just early this month, I organized a challenge, a Busan Smart City Challenge. Which is like a startup challenge. And then we had the participants from around the world, Africa, Americas, Asia. So when we are talking about, because now we are talking about digital economy, we're talking about the startups, innovations, right? If we are talking about startups, or if you want to become startup or entrepreneurs, do you think you need to have a new idea? Let's say if you come up with an idea, which you think that is a new idea. I'd like you to see this. Even human faces, you can find someone who looks like you. So likewise, once you have an idea, which you may think that is really new, is a really innovative idea, I'm telling you that chances are your idea has been thought by someone already. And this I have seen in many, many occasions. For example, like the Busan challenge that I organized, young people that we had, they came up with ideas, right? And then, if you look or search the internet, you will see that someone has already thought about that. Someone has already, maybe probably commercialized it or doing business on those ideas. But the thing is that it doesn't matter. An old idea can probably work in another circumstances. It probably doesn't work in these circumstances or in this area, but it could probably work in another setting or another environment. So it's not important that you really have to a new idea. You just need to have an idea that can address or can resolve the problem in your environment or in your society. And this is very interesting when we are talking about technologies, IoTs or whatever, right? And last year I was in a meeting, and I was at a panel in a meeting. And then one of the audience asked the panelists, is that these technologies are going to make us lose our job? And actually, my fellow panelist, I think he was trying to comfort this question. And he said that, no, you are not going to lose your job, But please think about that. If you have technologies that can work better, more accurate than human, what's the point that you keep human in that job? So what I'm saying is that, and especially for you young people, technologies will replace human one way or another. Because the technologies of machines can work better, more accurate, faster, more efficiently than human. So they will replace the human. And then, of course, people will lose jobs. But, this is what happened in the United States. The top 10 most wanted jobs in the United States now didn't exist in the last 10 years. So meaning what? Meaning that we are now preparing our students for the jobs that do not exist yet. So what you should learn today is actually for the future. So those jobs which do not exist today doesn't mean that they will not exist in tomorrow. So this is the thing that I like to leave it with you. And then these jobs, the technologies open a lot of opportunities and a lot of job opportunities actually, right? Like a data analytics. Do you think data analytics happened in the last 10 years? People who analyze the data, or probably it happened, it existed, but it's not in the larger scale like today. So this is my last slide, and that just conclude my topic on the digital economy and also the entrepreneurial. So this, I just leave it for you to read because I think I have talked too much, and I think I need coffee, water, and some biscuits as well. But anyway, I hope you can get something from this presentation, and surely if you need to contact ITU or me or our speakers, please contact Navid. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any questions from the audience? Any questions from the audience?
No question? You sure? I kind of have one. Not really a question, but just a inquiry clarification about the smart city. Yeah, they were saying that once we have this smart city, it's more on having risk than opportunities. How true is that, sir? It's more risk. It's more risky.
More.
Yeah, there are like a lot of risk if we have the smart city than having the opportunities.
No, actually, I would disagree with this comment. I mean, if you are saying that smart city would have more risks than opportunities, so then it's not about the smart city, it's about technologies. So, and people have talked about this for years, for decades, right? When there's a new technology, so there are, some people would be very concerned. Give you example, this mobile money. So some people will think, oh, this is very risky. There are a problem of security. And any new technologies raise that question. But in fact, I'm telling you that the opportunities or the benefits of new technologies far outweigh the risks or the threats. Of course, there are risks, there are threats. But the benefits are much more than that. So then we just need to take, try to enjoy the benefit while addressing the problem. So same, smart city would not have more risks than opportunities. Of course, opportunities are more, but it doesn't mean that we can ignore the risks.
Thank you so much, sir. Some more opportunities.
Sir, it's just one query. According to you, what is the definition of the smart city? Yeah.
According to me,
Yeah, according to you.
not to the ITU. No, I tend to agree with this definition, and actually this definition didn't come from ITU. I mean, of course, it's ITU define it, but how it come up is that a lot of experts, over I think more than a year, they discuss and then come up with this definition, what the smart city is. Of course, other people, other cities would have different definitions, but this is a ITU definition, which come from a lot of experts. And I tend to agree with this, and especially what I what I underscore is that it has to improve the quality of life, because if it doesn't improve our quality of life, what's the point that we are making a smart city? But let me tell you this, why the definition is so important. Because it's just a definition. People may think that it's just a definition. You know, as I said, I was involved in the Chiang Mai and Phuket. And I spoke to the governor of these two provinces. Two of them have one common problem, among others. They don't know how to explain what the smart city is to the people. I mean, of course, people like us, we're probably familiar with the smart city, but imagine you are going to the street hawkers, right? You are going to the ordinary people, farmers, and you are telling them, we are making your city smarter. They will ask you, what does it mean? What is that? So the governors have this problem, how to explain to the smart city, how to convince them, because they are going to use the budget, the city's budget, or even the state's budget, to build or to put CCTVs, fiber optics, or whatever technologies. And then ordinary people would ask them, why you are wasting our money for these things? So that's how, politically, politicians has really a problem how to explain or how to define the smart city. So actually the governor of Phuket asked me, can you tell me in Thai what the smart city is? And really difficult. I leave it to you, this question to you. Maybe you have time, you think about that. Can you define it in Thai, what the smart city is, and then make the people understand it? It's difficult, yeah.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Any more queries? Yeah.
Yes.
Let me come.
So I would like to know about the downside, the downside of the Internet of Things. Like, these days, a lot of people, a lot of criminals using technologies to commit several crimes. So what can possibly be the downside of it?
I'm not sure if I get your questions correctly, but I mean, when you're starting about the job opportunities, losing jobs, something like employment, right? Something like that. Actually, that is not really quite downside. I mean, before I come into the threat or the cybercrime, the job opportunity is not really a downside. It's just a transformation. It's just a change or evolution, right? Because while we are losing some conventional or traditional jobs, there are much more opportunities happening. You can see that the technologies open up a lot of opportunities. Many businesses nowadays, you never imagine maybe in the last 5 years. A lot of new businesses come up, a lot of entrepreneurs come up. And as I said, a lot of occupations or vocations that came up because of these technologies. So first thing is that I don't think that is really a downside. You have just need to adapt or change it. Then the second is about I think another downside, and this is a downside, is actually cyber security or cyber threat or cyber attacks. Yeah. It happens for sure. It happens for sure. And then it depends on the magnitude or to what extent they are going to happen. And it depends on how the government, and actually not only the government, but all of us would tackle or would address that. But it's happening. So, and nowadays it's even easier to hack, easier to attack. Even the people in the kind of primary school or junior or high school, they can even do something on this, hack. And worse, this kind of guidelines or guidance are available on the internet. You can just they can just read some materials and then they can hack out the network. So then this is something that people, governments and stakeholders need to think about and put in place a mechanism or framework to address that. So then that's why that is a downside, but it can be prevented.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Is there anything more?
Any more queries? Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's give him a round of applause, please.